The battlefield that the Centralia battle was fought on is 3 miles south of Centralia, and just a few years ago the owner of the land, the 25 acres, he donated it to the Friends of the Centralia Battlefield. And since then we have operated it. We have put in a parking lot, a picnic grounds, a driveway, making it accessible easily to get to the battlefield, and have done some improvements actually on the site itself. We have 2 monuments, a Union monument and a Confederate monument, so to speak. And we've had a number of programs and activities, including a reenactment on the site, and that we're just very proud of the activities, such as having the U.S. Army come to our site. A number of school kids. We've had a lot of classes with 5th graders and adults. The participants that are in it, obviously Major AVE Johnston and Bloody Bill Anderson. Then you have Jesse James and Frank James, and the younger brothers were here. Jesse had just barely turned 17 at the time that he came here. We have the monument by the railroad track where the massacre took place earlier in the day. And then the battlefield, you start Centralia in the way that the troops came out and to this point, which is 3.5 miles south of Centralia. And we will go out there, and this is the bridge we built across Young's Creek. As you can see, Young's Creek gets pretty mean at some times, and it overflows, and actually the water goes all the way back up to the battlefield. And we have to contend with that. This is a picture of what it looks like when there isn't water there. But this is the monument put up at the Sons of Confederate Veterans Camp in Columbia, Missouri. The Colonel Searcy Camp, and this is the front. It tells about the battle, and the back tells a little bit about the massacre. And then just last year, the Daughters of the Union put up this monument, which are very similar in size and everything. This is dedicated to the soldiers. Down here are the Union soldiers that were killed. There was actually 107 on the battlefield in 3 minutes, but then there was others that were killed later as they tried to escape and get back to Centralia. We have had 2 large, well, I call it a dig, but that's common terms. But the archaeologists come in from Nebraska. Doug Scott, who's one of the greatest in the country, came out, and he's been to our battlefield twice. This is a picture of a watering bit. It's a bit that was used in the 1840s, earlier in the Civil War, of which that you could water a horse really quick with the bit still in it, and it enabled for the hit and run. Unfortunately for them, it's harder to control the horse, and you got to be an excellent horseman to handle this particular bit. But the guerrillas were excellent horsemen, so that is basically. And we found this part of the bit out at the battlefield. We found a number, even after all these years, of mini balls and pistol balls.
Are you going to do any more archaeology?
Well, we will always continue to be looking for things because we haven't found as much as we know that's out there. What took place is that the Union troops were on top of a hill, which the hill now is about 3 foot shorter and 3 foot deeper at the bottom because of the erosion over the years. And many of the things that we want are at least 3 feet deep down at the bottom of the hill. And as Doug Scott said, good news is it's there. Bad news is we probably can't, we don't know if we can get to it or not. So we will continue work and try to find those relics.